Hey Tom, this is Heinz Schuler. I wanted to show you some unusual behavior I'm seeing with RTP in reference to saving files and just some visual artifacting. Um, I'm running the latest version of Unity and RTP, so 2017 Unity and 3.3H, but I've seen this behavior going back well past 5, 6, and before then. So here you can see I've got two textures. One's kind of a mossy ground cover and one's kind of a sand, and they both have this really, really dark shading. This occasionally just starts to happen in our scene, and I can't figure out why. The textures themselves are pretty simple. I have two sets here. I've got a sand and a grass texture. They have the gloss information in alpha, and then I have height and normal for both of them. So they're both pretty straightforward, just like pretty much the other ones in my scene. So in order to fix this, what I need to do is I go to the terrain layers, and watch, this is going to happen when I refresh my normal and my height. It will correct this odd shading. So I'll go ahead and click refresh on the grass. You'll see a huge change just happen there, and then also on the height you'll see the grass height change. And I can do the same thing with the sand cover. I can refresh those, and now these are going to look the way I intended them to look, or hopefully what I should be getting in the shading. So that's all nice, and if I were to save the scene file now, that would get very large because it's going to save all these textures in the Unity scene file. So I want to save them out externally, right? So I'm going to go to my combine textures, and here's where some weird stuff starts to happen. So here you can see my height fields got updated. They want me to save it out to the file. So watch what happens to the height in the scene when I save out these files. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this over my old save, and as it saves, the height suddenly dramatically changes in the scene, and I do the same thing with this other group, and it also changes. So that's not what I would expect. Also, and I go to the normal maps, they got updated obviously too when I refreshed, right? So when I save these, watch what happens to the normal shading as well. So I'm just going to start saving these out, and right there you'll see suddenly a huge change in the sand, and as I save out these other normal textures, like this one here, you'll notice the grass is going to change very dramatically here. So that doesn't look good at all. I don't understand what's going on there. Now the last thing that happens is, now if I were to go to save my scene, here you can see I've got 3 scenes loaded. This is our game, but the terrain is in the primary scene here. So now I'm going to click on the main scene node and watch what happens to the shading. This just reverts completely back to this strange dark shading. So I think it's somewhat related to saving the files externally, but I wanted to show you the behavior in a way that's a lot easier than writing it on a post. Thanks for any help on this.